It's good to see you guys, but with the city being so on edge, it's hard to relax.
The Renans and Danans here don't trust each other. This place is a far cry from Vicent.
What about Pelagian? You took in most of the refugees from Lenegis, didn't you?
I've settled them on different levels of the city, so contact between the two cultures is minimal.
Better to gather all the Renans in one place to avoid unnecessary conflicts, huh?
And with the Lord guy here in charge, no one can do anything too crazy.
Come on. He's carrying out his duties as the Renan representative.
But if that's true, are you sure it's okay to leave the city?
Fortunately, I have people there I can rely on. Leaving for a short while shouldn't be a problem.
And Kisara, you're the captain of those new troops in Vicent, right?
That's right, the Service Corps. We're made up of former members of the Guard and armored soldiers. We serve as the people's shield in the new era. I'm not used to teaching so many new recruits, but I'm managing somehow.
Rinwell, you're in Vicent too, aren't you? Is your nose still stuck in a book all the time?
Yep. There are too many books to read, so I always end up cooped up at home.
Hey, you go out sometimes, like when you're investigating the ruins.
You seem to know a lot about it.
Oh, not really. It's just that sometimes I guard caravans as part of the Crimson Crows, you know? So whenever I stop by Vicent, I pop in to help with stuff. Anyway, what have you been up to, Alphen?
Are you and Shion still traveling around as usual?
Yeah, I don't feel ready to settle down in one place just yet. Shion?
Sorry. It's been a while, but it doesn't feel like anyone's changed, you know?
You're right. It really feels like the old days.
I know we've got a lot of catching up to do, but Nazamiel must be getting bored by now.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, Nazamiel.
I don't mind.
The mausoleum is just up ahead, huh?
Careful. There might be Zeugles around, so... what?
Oh, that wasn't you? Then...
Are you hungry?
No, that wasn't... It's perfectly normal for your stomach to growl when you're hungry. It's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about.
As long as it's not you, I guess.
What was that?
Nothing. It's not a good idea to take on a mausoleum on an empty stomach. Why don't we eat first?
Great idea, Alphen.
Oh, it's been a while since I last had Kisara's cooking.
we're not putting it all on Kisara. We're going to cook together.
Really, I'm not...
It seems everyone's in the mood to cook. If it's not too much trouble, we'd love for you to join us.
I had an idea for something we could make with what we have on hand, but it looks like I'm still short on a few ingredients. Luckily, I think we can find them around here.
No problem. Let's start looking.
Well, that's strange. I wasn't expecting us to find a teleporter while looking for ingredients.
I wonder where it leads.
Regrettably, it looks like this one's target coordinates were never set. Until someone enters a destination, it's useless.
It's weird to find a teleporter out on its own like this.
Nazamil, everything okay? What is that? Some kind of decoration?
Looks like a Danin relic. This is a land full of ruins, so it's not at all unusual.
That looks familiar for some reason. I'm sure I've seen it before. That's right! It's a good luck charm! I saw an illustration in an old book once.
Does it have some kind of special power?
Nah, nothing like that. This is the sort of thing you give to your family, or someone special, so you can feel connected with them, no matter how far apart you may be.
I guess the way people express their feelings is the same now as it was back then.
I don't need it. I don't have anyone like that.
Well, in that case, can I hold on to it then?
Sure, I don't care.
Okay. Why don't we head for the campsite and start cooking?
I'm stuffed. It's nice eating with everyone like this, don't you think?
Indeed. It feels so liberating to relax under this beautiful sky. Moments like these are priceless.
Especially given how much you've been cooped up in your office lately. You've earned a break.
Hey, you okay? You don't look too good. Are you feeling sick?
I'm fine. It's just that it's a little uncomfortable. I've almost never eaten with others.
Oh, because both Danins and Renins. Well, what about your family?
I don't know anything about my mother. I've never met her. What about your father? My father would only visit when he needed me for something. And when he did, he would yell and beat me. The other members of my house did the same.
What?
So no, we didn't share meals.
Well then, I guess that makes us the first.
Huh?
Let me tell you a secret. You see, when you eat with people you're close to, it always makes food taste that much better.
Why is that?
That's a good question.
I suppose it's because when we share the same food, we're also sharing the joy of it.
Not only that, conversations are more lively when you're eating good food, too.
Food tastes better when it's shared.
There's more to a meal than simply filling your stomach. And knowing that is part of what motivates people to cook a good meal.
The food was really good.
Let's eat together again, okay?
You know, there's something about Nazamil that reminds me of Dohalim. She's...
Elegant.
Yes, exactly!
My family was strict about manners.
No surprise there. Your father being a lord. Law, you can be so insensitive sometimes.
I don't mind. My house is gone now anyway.
That was back on Lenegis, right? When did you come down to Dana?
When my father joined the crown contest as a lord, we came down together.
Oh yeah, Ganeth Harrows, right? But didn't Voron...
Why are you asking anyway?
Why? The more we know about each other, the quicker we can become friends, right?
Is that how all of you became friends?
I suppose so. Getting to know each other is an important step in learning to understand one another. It can be difficult to trust a stranger, but once you understand them better, you can move toward becoming friends. Still, why don't we change the topic to something more cheerful?
I don't know any cheerful topics. Can I ask you something?
Of course. Ask us anything.
What I am. It doesn't bother you at all?
What, the thing about your parents? I mean, sure, it was a little surprising, but we're not really ones to talk when it comes to being unusual.
He's right. We are a rather strange group, all things told.
Exactly. For example, I'm Danin. But I'm also part of a mage clan that can use astral arts.
Dohalim here is a Renin lord who prefers poetry over power.
So, is that why you're with the Blazing Sword? With Alphen? Because you were different from others?
I suppose I appreciate how he embraces our eclectic natures, but that is not the only reason. We all have our differences, big or small. The question is, how we look at those differences.
What about Alphen and Shion?
In terms of different, those two are in a class all of their own. They're especially unique. But in the end, we see each other as fellow human beings. And when it comes down to it, all our differences are insignificant compared to that.
In other words, the way we see it, you're really not that different from the rest of us, Nazamil. So I'm sure we can be friends.
Friends? Yeah.
walking together like this. It's like we're back in the old days.
The old days? It's only been a year.
But after the battle with the Great Spirit, so many things have happened. A lot has changed.
Great Spirit. Is it true it's the collective will that manifests from all the astral energy within a world?
Yes. Rena's Great Spirit manifested a will of its own and engineered the conflict between Dana and Rena. Together, we fought it 1 year ago.
In the end, Alphen's power defeated the Great Spirit, allowing its astral energy to finally become one with Dana's. And now, with the Great Spirit no longer influencing the Renan people, our two cultures finally have a chance to unite as well.
So all of that is something that the Blazing Sword... that Alphen did? He's the reason the world is the way it is now?
I mean, he's the one who did it, but it's more like it's this way because it was always supposed to be. The problem is, instead of seeing this as a new world, both Danans and Renans think that Dana just absorbed Rena into itself.
I mean, that is what it looks like, so I get the confusion. Rena disappears, then there's all these Renan buildings popping up everywhere. The hollowing and that sky.
It's a difficult situation. The Renans lost their home when Lenegus collapsed, and the Danans feel like they're being invaded by all the resulting refugees. Most Renans are currently living in Pelegion, but there are some who have traveled outside Ganath Haros to settle in other regions and Danan cities. In some cases, like in Niez, accepting them in has resulted in tensions. And then the mausoleums are a problem as well.
Guess the only thing that hasn't changed is the wandering Zeugles.
Even Zeugles aren't the same. They're more violent than before, probably due to the merging of the worlds.
As you can see, we still have a lot of issues to deal with, but we're trying to solve them as best we can.
I see.
You know, Nazamil sure is fearless.
Now that you mention it, she is, isn't she? Maybe she's stronger than she looks.
Can I ask you something?
You don't have to ask that every time. What is it?
What kind of place is this mausoleum?
Well, it seems like it was originally supposed to help delay the collapse of Rena by controlling astral energy. But it's still operating, and that's not good.
Astral energy in this world is now composed of 6 elements, after Rena and Dana became one.
Just like it was supposed to be from the very beginning.
But before they merged, Dana had only 5 elements. Currently, the balance of energy is still shifting to achieve equilibrium. We believe these mausoleums are interfering with the flow of astral energy, preventing that balance. So we decided it's better to disable them.
So having 6 elements is normal?
Right. But something went wrong a long time ago, and they were divided. Rena got all the dark astral energy, and Dana got the light.
When I was small, my father told me that I have all 6 elements, so it was my duty to master them.
Undoubtedly, it's due to you having both Renan and Danan blood. In a way, you're a herald of a new era. Is something wrong?
No. For a moment I was just worried you were going to say something like, "What a fascinating specimen." Sorry.
Ah, and here I thought I was getting better at reading the room.
Anyway, this new world of ours needs all 6 elements in proper balance, so we're shutting down the mausoleums to help that happen.
So 6 elements are part of a new era. I never thought of it like that before.
By the way, Alphen, what happened to your Sovereign outfit? That's some high-class gear, isn't it?
It's at docks with Shion's outfit. It, stands out too much.
I admit, I fail to see how your current attire does so any less. Is it difficult to be seen as a hero?
I don't like being called the Blazing Sword.
Really?
Yeah. Danans and Renans make all kinds of assumptions just from that name. It doesn't feel good to be judged by people I've never even met.
Yeah.
Although I do admit it's a contradiction for me to say that while carrying around the very sword that gave me that name.
Perhaps. However, we need the sword to accomplish our current task. That's why you restored it with the Sovereign's powers, correct?
You're right. It was necessary. Nazamil, there's something I need to apologize for.
Apologize to me. Why?
It's probably my fault that you were a test subject at Lenegis.
Alphen, wait a second.
What do you mean?
The ones who experimented on the two of you did so for their own purposes.
Dohalim.
I understand how you feel, but there's no need to phrase things in such a misleading manner.
Can you please explain? I want to know.
It all started a long time ago, because Rena's Great Spirit wanted to absorb Dana's astral energy. Lenegis was created for that purpose, and the Sovereign was one of its parts.
Alphen escaped, but the Great Spirit needed a replacement to achieve its plan.
So they took me?
Yes, a lot of people were experimented on, and you were one of them.
Your crest was incomplete. Perhaps your modifications were not completely finished.
Because of Volron. Because he was completed first.
1 year ago, we may have met Nazamil in a different manner. I don't know why they let you go, but we can thank that for allowing us to encounter one another.
And you, Shion?
Mine was inherited. It was one of my ancestors who underwent modification.
So in a way, you being taken was a result of my actions. I'm sorry, Nazamil.
It's okay. You don't have to be. You didn't wish for it. And I'm no different from you. Besides, I didn't lose anything by being a test subject. And more than that, it makes me happy to know that there are other people like me.
Nazamil.
Until we find an official residence for you, this will be your home, Nazamil.
Guess this is where we say goodbye then. It won't be the same without you.
We'll be sure to stop by when we're in Vicent.
Okay.
Nazamil, we have something for you.
This is the charm from the ruins?
That's right. The good luck charm you give to someone special.
We all helped fix it up a little.
I know you said you don't have anyone special, but you're special to all of us. We thought this could be a reminder when you need it.
But I... Really?
Of course. Think of it as a sign of our friendship, and a promise that we'll meet again.
Basically, we're friends now.
Friends. My very own... friends. Just like me.
It looks good on you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, Nazamil.
Okay.
Law?
Shh, I hear something moving.
What is it? Zeugles?
Couldn't it be just a mouse or something?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure what it is. Let's flush it out by force.
Wait!
Nazamil?
You followed us? Did something happen in the city?
No. I just... didn't want to be left there.
Are you saying you'd rather live on your own outdoors than in a city?
It's not that. I just...
You want to come with us, don't you?
Yes.
All right.
Are you sure about this? After all, it's not like we'll never see each other again. And it's so much safer in Vicent.
That's true, but we all know the pain of being alone, don't we?
Well, yeah, but...
She does have the ability to disappear at will. If something happens, she can use that to hide herself.
Can you promise you'll do that, Nazamil?
Yes, I promise.
Then it's decided. Now, as for this seating arrangement... There. That ought to do it. How's it going on your end?
All the ingredient preparation is out of the way. I'm ready to start cooking.
Can I help with anything? Maybe I could be in charge of the seasoning.
No way. We don't want to risk putting people's tongues or stomachs in danger today.
Oh, right. What is it, Nazamil?
I gathered branches for the fire. Does this look like it will be enough?
Yeah, that should do it. Thanks for the help.
You're the guest of honor today, so you really didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but I'd rather be together with everyone.
Oh, Nazamil's here too. Welcome back.
Huh?
What's the matter? Did I say something weird?
What do you mean, welcome back?
Huh? Well, you're finally back, aren't you?
It's just that no one's ever said that to me. I mean, not until now. So I don't know what I'm supposed to...
It's good to be back.
Huh?
When you hear welcome back, you can say that in response.
People say welcome back to their friends or family when they return to a place that's like home.
A place that's like home. But I...
This place is sort of like a home, too.
Good to be...
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be back.
There you go. Welcome back, Nazamil.
Welcome back.
Well then, let's get the preparations done before it gets dark. Mind lending me a hand, Nazamil?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Let's make this night one to remember.
You can leave that to me.
You've changed.
Who, me?
Yes, you've loosened up.
I agree. You seem to be having fun.
To be honest, I don't really know what it's like to have fun. But unlike before, my heart feels lighter. It's a little strange, but it's not a bad feeling. I'd never wanted to use my power to help anyone before, nor had I ever been praised for it. And I never imagined I'd ever travel with someone. With friends.
I'm sure there are a lot more travels in your future.
In my future,
Do you have some kind of dream? Something you want to do?
I'm not sure. I've never thought about the future before.
You don't have to force yourself. Say, what about a hobby or something?
What do you like to do?
Oh. I like to draw.
To draw?
Just scribbling things I see or feel. Only sometimes, though.
Interesting. So you're an artist?
Sure, that got your attention.
But you draw the things that leave an impression on you, right? I think it's a lovely hobby.
If you don't mind, would you show me your drawings sometime?
Yeah. I'd like that. I didn't know.
About Niez and the hollowing? Of course you didn't know. We never told you about it.
But those people hate Alphen now.
It's not your fault.
But
If anything, it was my fault. This happened because I couldn't control my anger.
You didn't start it. They were going to hurt Nazamil.
Unfortunately, if you favor either side, the other will hate you. If you treat them equally, then they both will. People have strong opinions when it comes to the blazing sword. Pleasing everyone will hardly be a simple matter.
What about you, Dohalim? As the final lord, you're in a similar position, don't you think?
True. Some turn to me for help, while others despise me. All simply because I am a lord. But compared to the symbol that Alphen must bear, my burden is quite light.
People can be entitled about these kinds of things. If they assume someone is there to help them, they're doubly disappointed when that's not the case. In that, Danins and Renins are the same.
So, what will we do now?
Let's go back to Vicent for now. We can decide whether to divide up or not once we get there. It's so noisy. Is it morning already?
Wake up, everybody! Hurry!
What's wrong?
Nazamiel's gone.
What?
You sure she's not just taking a walk around while invisible?
Apparently not. She left behind a letter.
To my friends.
My first friends. It made me happy that I could help all of you. It made me happy to earn your praise. I don't want my friends to be sad. I don't want anyone to hate you. You all taught me that my power can be of use. So, I'm going to see if there isn't something I can do.
What is this? What are you planning on doing, Nazamiel? You're somewhere nearby, aren't you? Please say something, Nazamiel! Nazamiel!
You've been looking a bit blue these days. Want to talk about it?
Well, you know how for the past year I've been traveling with Shion? Without settling down in any one place like the rest of you?
To seal up the mausoleums, right? That's something only you guys can do.
The reason I didn't stay in cities for long was because I wanted to avoid people.
Because everyone's either calling you a hero or a destroyer, right? That's why you exploded in Nies, isn't it?
Yeah. I wanted to protect Nazamiel, but it wasn't just for her. A lot of that anger was for my own sake as well.
But what else could you do? Any way you look at it, they were in the wrong.
Even so, I should have handled it better. If I hadn't lost control and caused this whole mess, Nazamiel wouldn't have run off.
Look, I get why it's bothering you, but that doesn't mean...
It's not just her, is it? I get the sense that behind all this, you're actually anxious about your future.
Alphen's future? What are you talking about?
You really are perceptive when it comes to other people.
If people could be perceptive about their own business, no one would ever have anything to worry about.
No doubt. You're right, though. I'm in this mess just handling my own problems. I worry I'm not ready.
Regardless of what anyone says, it's your life. Don't let your future slip away from you. Or perhaps I should say, your future together?
Wait, that's... you mean Alphen and Xion?
Spluttering like a fish is not proper decorum, young man.
You're not even that old!
I'll still have to think it over and choose for myself, but I do feel better now. Thanks, guys.
Everything we need is here.
Hopefully this will help the reconstruction start again.
You're lost in your thoughts again.
It was probably the blazing sword they needed, not me.
People who know you see you.
We all have a hard time with the discrepancy between our true self and the impression others have of us. But I doubt such knowledge will help you feel any better right now.
Hey, why don't we go back to Ulzebek? There's no point in staying here anyway.
Right. Let's go.
You're looking good, Doc.
You aren't looking too good yourself, though. I've been wondering when you'd show up. So, what is it? I don't know what you're struggling with, but just spit it out. That's the reason you've come here, isn't it?
I can't keep any secrets from you, can I? So, the truth is...
I see. So everyone comes to you asking for your help.
I don't mind being relied on. I mean, I'm happy to help. It's just that...
They take it for granted because you're a hero. That must be tough. I don't blame you.
I just don't understand. Renans hate me without question, while Danans call me a hero. Who in the world am I?
We spent such a long time as slaves. In some ways, I suppose we're still trying to get free. Listen, Alphen, how many hands do you have?
Hands? Well, I have 2.
And how many things can you hold at once with those 2 hands? You think the blazing sword can hold hundreds or thousands of things at once just because he's a hero? Nonsense.
Well,
all they see is the legend. They can't tell the difference between Alphen the person and Alphen the blazing sword. That's your real problem, isn't it? So you need to tell them. Remind them that you only have 2 hands.
are you saying I should abandon people even when they're asking for my help?
Not at all. You want to help everyone. That's a great mindset, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, in order for you to meet everyone's needs, you would have to grow 1,000 hands. No, even 1,000 wouldn't be enough. You'd still miss something, and the people would still complain. All you can do is choose what's important to you. What will you do with just those 2 hands of yours? You are the one who decides, Alphen. Not the people, not the blazing sword, but you.
I decide. I decide for myself. I do.
Feeling better?
Yeah. I guess, in the end, it seems I was bound by the word hero myself.
You freaked me out when you suddenly decided to talk to everyone on your own like that.
Those who depend entirely on others cannot truly call themselves free. A good lesson that we all should keep in mind.
The people here will eventually understand. I really believe that.
If everyone can learn to truly think and decide for themselves, I think they'll start seeing a lot of things differently. And hopefully, one day, they'll realize that the differences between Danans and Renans don't matter at all.
So then, now that you've decided to follow your heart, what do you want to do next, Alphen?
I want to find Nazimil. I'm not sure what she's going through, but I can't help but feel like she needs us. But first, I want to go to Niez.
Yes.
I want to speak to the people in different cities like I did in Olzebek. I'll start with Niez. I'll start sowing the seeds in every town, so that maybe, one day...
That's quite an undertaking. Difficult for a hero, let alone one man.
Well, I guess we'll just have to lend him a hand then, won't we?
Niez it is, then. What are you looking at?
I'm not sure. The world in front of me, I guess. Nothing has really changed, but somehow it feels like I'm looking at something new. Even the stars are brighter. It's like a wall that was always there is gone now. It's hard to describe.
Maybe your breakthrough has let you see things differently.
You think so? Yeah, you might be right. Maybe I was scared.
That people would be disappointed in you?
Yes. But then I was thinking, do you remember the last thing Volran said to me?
If you choose to walk that path, you choose that path. You choose a path of betrayal, despair, and corruption. I remember.
If I kept trying to play the hero everyone wanted me to be, I may have ended up just like he said. Of course, I know this won't solve all my problems. I'm sure there will still be times when I face betrayal or despair. But I can accept that if it's the result of my own choices. As long as I make my own decisions, I will be the master of my own fate. It's strange how a simple change in one's mindset can make such a big difference. It's not like I'm doing anything differently.
You freed yourself. It's been a while. But you finally look like yourself again, Alphen.
Thanks. Thank you, Xion.
We keep having to travel through all these caves and buildings. It's making me lose track of where we are.
True. But at least we get to do it without wearing those masks.
Speaking of masks, those Cal Basel guys didn't make them from scratch, did they?
Probably not. I've seen them at other mausoleums.
I'm sure it's another work of the Helganquil. They've been manipulating us in various ways. I suppose it was one of those attempts.
But this place was the stronghold of the Snake Eyes, wasn't it? I wonder why they didn't try to use the masks.
If Nazamiel has the same power as a sovereign, maybe she was able to use that power to activate the masks.
It was fortunate the Snake Eyes couldn't use them.
In the end, their entire group ended up getting taken over by those masks, huh?
Perhaps that's why Nazamiel was able to form Cal Basel in such a short period of time.
But for what? What is she trying to do? They talk about bringing peace, but what they're doing is the exact opposite. There's no way they can bring about peace like this. And Nazamiel should know that.
There's something I can't figure out. Assuming that the Keystone is putting the people in those masks in the same state of mind as Nazamiel right now, how did Nazamiel become like that?
It was because she put on the mask, right?
Yes. However, when Cal Basel first showed up in Niez, Nazamiel was wearing the mask.
But then when we saw her after that, she wasn't wearing it anymore. Could that mean she wasn't being controlled by it at first?
Perhaps the mind control function is something that can be shut off. At least with Nazamiel's mask. The reigning visage.
That would mean Nazamiel went to the trouble of turning that function on before putting on the mask again.
I don't get it. If we were simply in the way, there was no need for her to do that after we defeated her.
We couldn't have been in the way. She said she's doing all of this for us, didn't she?
She also said we're her friends.
That may be so, but Nazamiel still attacked us when we tried to stop her.
It seemed like she wasn't listening to what we were saying. It was like we were talking past each other.
We're still overlooking something. Whatever it was that drove Nazamiel to the point of fighting us. Even before she gave up and erased herself. If we want to help her, we need to find out what that is before we see her again.
What's wrong?
This is where we found that good luck charm.
Who would have thought we'd end up coming back in a situation like this?
In the end, maybe it was the charm that guided us to this place.
That should do it. Let's hope the coordinates are correct.
I wonder if we'll end up fighting again.
Can't say for sure. But we have to stop her.
Yes. Or everyone in those masks will stay that way forever.
When Nazamiel put on the mask, she said she should just disappear. She erased herself with the mask. And now the people are shouting her feelings instead.
People should speak their thoughts with their own mouths. More than that, they should be allowed to speak their own thoughts.
Let's go.
So we're finally here. For so long. I've been dying to see what kind of place could control all of the mausoleums. But
Are you having second thoughts about coming here?
no way. Nazamiel is what's most important right now.
That's right. The mausoleums can wait, but we have no time to lose for Nazamiel.
Yeah, we need to hurry and get to her.
Nazamiel didn't care about anything, aside from us. But even so, she never wished to hurt anyone. Even that time with the Zugals back in Niez. She saved people even when they'd been horrible to her.
You know, even when she manipulated the mask guys, no one ended up with any serious injuries.
She's probably been like that since before we met her.
I think so too. She may not be used to dealing with others, but she has a kind nature.
And yet, she was separated from her mother, unloved by her father, and unjustly hurt by everyone she met.
It would have been understandable for her to lash out at the world. Instead, she chose to erase herself.
We can't let things end like this. We need to let her know that there are things in this world that she can believe in.
She's gone. What was that?
So, it wasn't the real Nazamiel after all?
It wasn't a Zoogle in disguise or anything, was it?
It wasn't a living thing. It was like a mass of astral energy.
We are inside a huge facility that controls astral energy. The real Nazamiel must be connected to it somehow. Could it be a physical manifestation of astral energy? Just like how Nazamiel's consciousness is flowing into the suppressor?
But why would it get in our way instead of becoming like the people in town?
Do you think it was because she doesn't want to see us?
No, it didn't look like she recognized us.
That shadow. I think it's somehow caused by Nazamiel's fear, trying to keep us out. Sometimes, when someone has been hurt badly enough, they shut down and close out the world to keep from being hurt again. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
It's possible Nazamiel's mental state is affecting the Keystone's defense systems. If so, I fear there may be worse to come.
Nazamiel's just up ahead.
Yeah, I'm certain she's there. Let's go.
Alphen?
Why am I thinking about him of all people right now? About Volron?
You mean about not being able to save him? I doubt there was any way to help that man.
Alphen said he forgave him, but then he went and chose to blow himself up.
Under different circumstances, I could have wound up just like him, and there would have been no end to us hating one another. So I realized I had to be the first to let my hatred go. I thought it might save us both. But as far as Volron was concerned, that only meant his fate was in the hands of someone else.
He told you he didn't need your victor's pity.
I see. So that's why he chose death. In the end, he considered it his last remaining right.
Are you saying Nazamiel could do the same thing? But she's nothing like Volron.
Of course she isn't. But with both Volron and Nazamiel, I hadn't fully considered their feelings or state of mind.
We can't just impose our own thoughts onto her. That's what you mean, right?
I can't repeat the same mistake. I won't. Not ever again. We've been walking for a while. I think we're getting closer to Nazamiel. We've come all this way. I don't plan on us being the only ones coming back. Is that clear, everyone?
Understood.
Something the matter, Rinwell?
What Nazamiel is doing is wrong, and we have to put a stop to it. I understand that, but she's been through so much pain and misery, and she doesn't want to go through that anymore. That's why she locked herself away in there, right? I just wonder, is this really the right way? Won't it be bad for her if we force her out of there against her will?
I get your point, but...
It's not like we're dragging her out of there. I know that, but still.
Nazamiel felt rejected by us. That's why she closed her heart.
She's been rejected by others her entire life, and that's why she hoped we would accept her.
I thought telling her that she's not alone would open up her heart again.
Are you saying that's not enough?
If we just accept her, and that's all we do, it will be the same as it was before. And she'll still be letting others control her life.
Ultimately, she has to be the one to remove her own mask. We need to set her free. Even from us. Thanks, Rinwell. I feel like what we have to do is clear now.
There's no need to thank me. I just want this to be over with so we can be friends with her again. That's all.
Supporting each other is not the same as being dependent on one another. Difficult, but true.
Let's move on. We have to set Nazamiel free.
Come here, sweetie. There you go. Very good. Yes, that's a good boy.
Shion? What are you doing over there all by yourself?
Oh! Alvin? It's not what it looks like. This is, How much did you see?
You were waving your hand back and forth and muttering something.
What? So you were watching the whole time? How could you?
I'm sorry? Is it that upsetting?
It's a matter of privacy, Alphen. There's no excuse for peeping. But Shion, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I've done similar things myself.
You too?
Sure. Like sometimes when I'm fishing by myself, I'll imagine I'm sharing the catch with you all.
Doesn't that mean Kisara was peeping too?
Yes, you understand. Since we were all traveling together for so long, it was easy to get used to everyone being so close.
So then when they aren't there anymore, it can make you do strange things.
I actually tried a variety of other fluffy things as a stand-in, but it just wasn't the same.
Of course, that's a different thing entirely.
What are you two talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, I get it. That was practice for petting Hoot. If you like the little guy that much, why don't you just ask Rinwell if you can take care of him for a while?
That's not what we mean at all. You just don't understand.
You have a long way to go, Alphen.
What?
So, did you two want to pet Hoodle? What do you say, Hoodle? Would it be all right?
Really? All right. Here goes.
What a strange place. It's unlike any Renan or Danon structures I've seen before. Are they all like this?
We've seen a few of them, and I'd say they're mostly like this, yes.
Do you know a lot about architecture, Nazamiel?
No. Was that an odd thing to ask?
Not at all. It just means you're perceptive.
You're alert and paying attention to your surroundings. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and being curious is how you learn things. Speaking of which, I'm very curious about you.
Because I'm different?
Because you're interesting. And I want to get to know you, Nazamiel.
You do?
We all do. Personally, I look forward to hearing more of what you have to say.
I'll try to think of something.
So, Alphen, how many of these mausoleums do you think we've sealed up so far?
Oh, I've lost track. We've been all over the world by now.
This journey's grown longer than I expected.
Say, Shion, are you getting tired?
No, I'm fine. Why? Do I look tired? Have my clothes gotten a bit messy? Oh, or my hair. Or maybe I have bags under my eyes.
No, not at all. It's just as battle ready as ever. What I'm trying to say is, you're not forcing yourself to do this, are you?
What do you mean?
Just that maybe you'd rather live a calm life somewhere, you know? Away from fighting, where you can wear whatever you like.
Alphen, it sounds to me like you're misunderstanding something. I'm not forcing myself to do anything, okay? We're the only ones who can seal the mausoleums, right? I'm doing this because I want to. After all, I could hardly live in peace knowing the world's still in trouble. And these clothes? I wear them because I like them. I chose all of this for myself. This whole journey we're on, I want to be on it with you. To travel with you. That's why even now,
Well, that's good then. Sorry for the strange question.
Okay then. I guess that's the end of that. Come on, let's go, Alphen.
Right. Let's go, Shion.
Got your face stuck in a book as usual, huh? What kind of stuff do you read, anyway?
All sorts of things. Ancient accounts, histories. Just recently, I was reading a book about astral arts.
So what's the point? Does this, like, make your astral arts stronger?
No. I just read because I like to learn. Though, it is also helpful for my research.
Research?
For example, I'm looking into whether it's possible to combine Dan and magic with Ren and astral arts. I'm also interested in the mausoleums and Dana's past.
Okay. I'll admit, I'm not totally following. But, is there a purpose to this research? Like a goal?
A purpose? Well, I guess there is something I'd like to try someday. I want to try writing my own book, instead of just reading what others have written.
This is the first I'm hearing of it. What kind of book do you want to write?
I have several ideas I've been thinking about, but most of all, I'd like to write about Dan and magic. Leave as much of my knowledge behind as possible, you know? And also, if there are any other Danins out there who can use magic, like me, maybe that book could help me find them.
Wow. You've really thought this through. You're amazing, you know that?
What's gotten into you? I'll have you know that flattery won't get you anywhere.
Law is correct. All the knowledge you've gained on Danon Magecraft would be lost if not made manifest. That book would serve as a guiding light to scholars for generations to come.
You're gonna embarrass me if you keep talking like that. It's no big deal. I just like to study, that's all.
I know what you mean. Whether books or art, there is an indescribable, fragrant allure to those things that have traversed the ages.
Yeah. Who doesn't like the smell of old books?
Yeah, totally. They do smell, yummy, don't they?
What? La, please don't eat my books.
You know, Kisara, I've learned a lot traveling with you.
Oh? About what in particular?
Cooking. Getting to finally cook together again after so long has made me realize just how amazing a chef you really are. I need to take the opportunity to watch you at work again while I still have the chance.
Your cooking already has everyone coming back for seconds. I don't think there's anything left to teach you.
Oh, but there is. Not only do you season things perfectly every time, but your movements are so quick and precise. Compared to you, I'm just a novice. I hope you don't mind if I swipe a few of your techniques.
You've really gotten into cooking, huh, Shion?
Though, as usual, she still buys a ridiculous amount of ingredients.
There's no such thing as too many ingredients. And can you blame me for wanting to try out every new recipe we find?
I can relate. Trade between realms has flourished within this past year, and with it, the availability of exotic ingredients. It's the same in Vicente. The people there have been experimenting with food that incorporates a wider array of flavors.
You're telling me brand new gourmet cuisine is being invented all over the world? I want to try making and eating all of it.
Eating the food is one thing, but isn't it hard finding and learning a bunch of new recipes like that?
Yeah, you make a good point. In the past, Kisara has always been there to help me, but I'm not so sure it would be as easy on my own.
In that case, I'll put in the effort to learn some new recipes myself. That way I can teach you the next time we meet.
You will?
Of course. I'm not one to back down from a new cooking challenge. And besides, I really do appreciate your faith in me.
Why don't we all just go to Kisara's every once in a while? You teach the rest of us too, right?
Cooking classes with Kisara. I think I'd like to join in on that.
Very well. I'll take on all of you.
Are you gonna teach us? Or are you gonna fight us?
Kisara, you're in charge of dinner tonight, right? Have you decided what we're having?
Not yet. I have plenty of ingredients, but nothing jumps out at me as a good main. Oh,
Do you have any requests, Nazamil?
Request?
Yes. What would you like? I can make just about anything.
I'm just happy to be able to eat.
Right, I remember you saying something like that. I guess you've never been in a position to be picky.
Is it normal for people to have certain foods that they like?
Well, I don't know about whether it's normal or not, but personally, I love anything sweet. Lately, I'm really into Gladys's donuts.
What have I liked lately? Oh, the fish crackers I received from the Service Corps were delicious.
It's been a while now, but I remember we made pancakes together once. I still make them for myself sometimes.
Ah,
What is it? Do pancakes sound good?
no, it's not that. I just remembered something. That meal from before, the one I had with all of you, that was the best meal I've ever had.
Oh yeah! That was good, wasn't it?
It really was. But you know, Nazamil, any kind of food tastes good if you make it and eat it with the people you're close to.
Anything? Really?
Sure. In fact, why don't we put that to the test? How about we all cook together today?
That sounds like a great idea! We can cook together and eat together! Your list of foods you like is gonna grow way longer, Nazamil!
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hey, is it just me, or are Hootle and Nazamil really getting along?
Yeah, I think Hoodle's really taken a shine to her.
Huh, that fluffball's usually so picky.
You don't get along with him?
Law's just jealous because, unlike you, he can't get Hootle to like him.
Are you kidding me? This ornery little owl likes to peck at my head. You hear that? At my head!
Well, Dan and owls are a sensitive species. They're not too keen on the rowdy sort. Hoo, hoo, hoo. See? Hootle says you're just not cutting it.
Come on, what do you want from me?
Don't take it too hard, Law. Every other animal loves you, right?
Oh yeah, 'cause that's a huge consolation.
I think it's good that you're appreciated. It's a lot better than being hated.
What kind of pets do you like, Nazamil?
Well, there were no animals on Lenegus, and I wasn't in a position to keep a pet on Dana.
Oh, that makes sense. You never know. You might just have the chance someday, though.
You think so?
Definitely. You've clearly got away with animals, Nazamil. He said, there's no doubt about it.
Thanks.
Are you okay, Nazamil?
I'm alright. I just tripped, that's all.
It only takes one untimely stumble to sprain an ankle. Keep your wits about you.
Right.
Are you hungry? It's easy to get a bit woozy on an empty stomach.
True. It might be a good idea to take a short break.
Hootle says, make sure you take care of yourself. See? He's looking out for you too.
Right, I will. Thank you.
Nazamil has really opened up to us, hasn't she?
I think they might be doting on her a bit much, though.
It's an expression of their concern. As long as she doesn't mind and it doesn't impede her independence, I see no issue with it.
If they pamper her too much, she's gonna end up like a certain someone we know, and won't even be able to change her own clothes.
Ah, not to worry, Law. I have found that it is never too late to learn such things.
I'm not sure that's a good argument.
Hey, you're still hanging out at the library, right? Anything interesting happened lately?
Anything interesting? Well, I have found plenty of interesting new books to read.
Yeah? Like what?
Books on horticulture, culinary techniques, things like that. Recently, I've been diving into some new topics. I've gotten to know some of the other people at the library, and they've been recommending all sorts of new books for me to try.
So they're, like, book buddies, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Any book I choose for myself is going to be colored by my own preferences, so it helps to have some outside opinions. I'm broadening my horizons.
Yeah, great. Just don't spend too much time reading. It's not healthy.
Excuse me? You're the one who brought up the library. You just wanted to say that?
No, just... never mind.
Oh. Could it maybe be that you're lonely?
Huh? As if!
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel lonely sometimes too, being away from you guys. I think it's normal for friends to miss each other. But no matter how much I wonder what you're all doing out there, it's not like I can just pop over and see you.
Yeah, kinda hard to do that when we live in different realms.
But still, it's nice that we get to hang out from time to time, like now. Even if it is, you know, in the name of necessity. I'm always looking forward to seeing you all again. And that helps give me strength when I'm alone.
I've been looking forward to seeing you all again, too. I didn't realize we both felt the same way. All right, I'm gonna work my butt off when I get back to the Crimson Crows. I've gotta be able to keep up with you, after all.
Just don't go overboard and get yourself injured.
It'll be fine. I'm far too tough to get injured that easily.
See? It's exactly that kind of attitude that I'm worried about. Ugh.
Kisara, I have been meaning to ask you. Do you find your duties leaving you overworked as of late?
How abrupt. What brought this question on?
Well, it's only that I worry you haven't been able to find the time to go fishing.
Oh, is that all? There's no need to worry. I do have other ways to relax outside of fishing. I used to fish to secure food for the day, but now that the food distribution network has stabilized, that's no longer an issue. That said, if you're ever feeling a craving for fish, don't hesitate to let me know.
That's a lovely suggestion, but it's the sight of you by the water, rod in hand, that has been etched into my mind. I find it unfortunate that, within the past year, I no longer have as many opportunities to see you enjoying yourself in the great outdoors.
Why don't you try fishing yourself then? You might like it. In fact, I'd be happy to plan something. It'd give me a chance to introduce you to the joy of fishing. You on one side of the rod, a fish on the other. It's like a negotiation, but also the perfect time for self-reflection. Though, of course, what really keeps you coming back is the excitement of landing a big one.
I'm afraid I'll have to decline.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I let myself get a bit carried away.
Oh, no. I can tell that fishing truly is special to you. What I mean to say is, I'd prefer to be an onlooker, relaxing at your side, and perhaps engaging in conversation from time to time.
Oh, Doe. It's settled then. I'll find the opportunity when things have calmed down.
Of course. When that time comes, I look forward to accompanying you.
Oh, Hootle! What? Did Hootle do something?
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just surprised to see him appear out of nowhere. I'm sorry for worrying you.
Shion, do you still have some of your anxieties from when you had your thorns?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes I still panic when someone approaches me too suddenly. You know what they say about old habits dying hard.
Right. That must be difficult.
But overall, I've gotten pretty used to physical contact with others. It makes me happy more than anything.
The joy of human contact. Hearing that from you, of all people, makes it sound all the more wonderful.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And also, I think it's easy to forget as you grow older, but just the warmth of another can be really comforting. It's cold in Cyslodia, but when I hug Hootle tight, it warms me right to the soul.
I remember how, whenever I was feeling anxious or when times were hard, my brother would silently rub my back. The warmth of his hand told me that everything was going to be all right. It was reassuring.
Yeah. It's a way of communicating without words, isn't it?
I've still only experienced that a few times, but I think I understand.
Well, for what it's worth, you're always welcome to hug me. Or even just lean on me, whenever you want. You too, Rinwell.
Yeah, and the same goes for the two of you with me. You too, Hootle. Look, Xion. Kisara's waiting for us with open arms.
Really? Now? Well, all right then. I guess it'll help me get more comfortable with this sort of thing. Thank you. Both of you.
Hurry it up, Elfin! Hey, you too, Lord Man!
Haste makes waste, young one.
Oh, don't even start with me on that. Come on, we're keeping everyone waiting.
He's right. Xion and Rinwell must be getting impatient with us, too.
I don't believe that's the case. Look, they seem to be enjoying themselves.
It feels so comforting to just sit quietly side by side, next to each other. And being able to follow through with something you've set your mind to like that. It's dependable, you know?
Wow, you really have a soft spot for that sort of thing, don't you?
Are they talking about...
Yeesh. Kinda awkward if we butted in now, right, Alphen?
Not at all. We should say something.
No. It would be rude of us to interrupt. Let us assess the situation and choose the time to make our entrance with propriety.
You mean eavesdrop?
Personally, I really like those light, nimble movements. There's a graceful fluidity to them. And the strike that comes afterwards, it's always so cool, no matter which way you look at it.
Strike? Hold up.
For me, it's the poise I'm fond of. That dignified demeanor never seems to falter, all while staying alert and being receptive to even the most subtle shift in sounds.
Sounds.
I know. And those big, beautiful, thoughtful eyes. I keep finding myself inadvertently gazing into them.
Big, beautiful, and thoughtful?
She's right. Alphen does have beautiful eyes.
But if anyone has thoughtful eyes, it's Dohalim.
But surely Big Eyes refers to Law?
I can't wait to see Zare again.
The cat!
The Crimson Crows are so cool! I want to join myself someday.
Nice. I'm sure you'll make it in. When you do, I'll be right there with you.
How mature of you to be thinking about the future already.
The Crimson Crows isn't just it, though. There are a whole lot of other things I want to do, too.
Like what?
I want to go out and travel all around the world, like you guys.
That's great. Traveling's a blast.
Also, I still want to make something and sell it to people. I haven't forgotten my promise, Xion.
I'm looking forward to you making something tasty.
Have you ever thought of coming to Vicent to study? It could be an opportunity to learn about both traveling and sales.
Studying, huh? I've never done anything like that before. It sounds hard, but maybe I'll give it a try. I'll have to be brave to make life better for everyone here. Like when Alphen broke down that wall.
That is laudable insight to have at your age.
You should know, though, that balancing that with the Crimson Crows will be no easy feat.
What if you put together a new group? It could be your very own crew. Traveling the world, doing business.
Whoa, that sounds amazing! Okay, and we're gonna be called the Awesome Fearless Dreamers!
Ooh, I like it. A name like that just screams courage.
Don't you think it's a bit long? Well, I suppose it gets the idea across.
When I see you speaking with other Renans, they always look so happy. It's made me realize just how many people depend on you, Dohalim.
I'm glad to be able to help, but I do feel it goes a bit too far sometimes.
You can say that again. Apparently, there are even some who want you to be the new ruler of the Renan people.
I suspect their minds are still trapped in the Renan mentality that the strong have an inherent right to rule and should be followed. Unfortunately for them, The reign they envision was but a fantasy, even in the old days. Going forward, they will need to face reality.
Yeah, a reality with no more lords or sovereigns.
Though there are still those enthralled by my title of former lord. I hope to see the day when they too can stand on their own two legs.
That said, I don't think people place their faith in you just because you were once a lord. I kept it from you so as not to burden you further, but there have been quite a few requests for you in Vicente as well.
Is that so? For what, pray tell?
Some want you to pass on your extensive knowledge by becoming a schoolteacher. Others say they want you to help them learn to appreciate music. And, as a request for the elegant and handsome Dohalim, there were even some who wished to be your lover.
Well, that's a scary voice.
Sounds less like people want things from him, and more like they just want him. I wish people talked about me like that.
There he goes, talking like an idiot again.
When it comes to children, they all want you to be their father. Sing them songs, read them stories, that sort of thing. It's actually rather sweet.
I see. Not all things people desire of me are quite so vapid, I suppose.
Yes. As a side note, I should mention that most of these requests happen to come from women. It must be wonderful to be so popular,
Kisara, why are you staring at me with a gaze like the coldest winter?
In the end, it sounds like wherever Dohalim goes, he leaves a string of hearts in his wake.
I certainly do no such thing.
So, Law, what have you been up to with the Crimson Crows lately?
Well, all sorts of things. Keeping Zoogles in check, hauling supplies, whatever people need me for. Most of it's manual labor, but one time they sent me to find some kid who'd run away from town.
Sounds like they really rely on you.
I don't know about that. The kids like me, at least. I've also escorted some traveling merchants from time to time.
More and more merchants are traveling between the realms these days, after all.
Yeah, that's right. The other day, I was even hired to escort this lady who works as a traveling peddler.
Knowing you, you were probably fawning over her the whole way there.
I'd never do that. This was a job, you know. Took it seriously and got her from point A to point B. Or, well, I guess maybe I put in a bit more effort than usual. 'Cause guess what? She had a special token of her gratitude for me.
A special what? And you accepted it?
Oh yeah, that sweet, sweet gratitude.
Excuse me? Oh my gosh, Law! How is that taking it seriously? Oh, you're the worst!
Huh? What are you getting mad at me for? Aren't I allowed to enjoy a few apples?
What? Apples?
Yeah, I couldn't eat them all myself, so I shared some with the kids in town. They loved them.
Ugh, you did that on purpose, didn't you? Don't even talk to me anymore.
Huh? Hey, what'd I do? I'm totally lost, man.
You might want to, think about how things are gonna sound before you say them. Dohalim, I've been thinking about how you've been bringing together the refugees from Lenegis all by yourself. It's incredible.
Right? It sounds like you've got a lot to deal with, but I never hear you complaining. Way to go, man.
Each thoroughfare is a river. The aimless wanderers its flotsam. The rapids become deafening in their ceaseless roar.
What are you talking about? Is there a dangerous river in Pelesian or something?
No, that was Dohalim's somewhat idiosyncratic way of complaining.
Huh? Which part?
The deafening rapids represent the troubled voices of the people here. He has to listen to their woes every single day, so I suppose he must get tired after a while.
Okay. Though, to be honest, even with it explained, I'm still not sure I really get it.
My hand extended to carry any burden, receiving but pebbles.
He wants to help them solve their problems, so he listens to their concerns, but they only ever bring him small, trivial matters.
How did you get all of that?
Suspended outside your window, sunlight caught on sodden shadows. 'Tis no cause for shame.
Wow, it sounds so mysterious. What's this one about, Kisara?
In this case, the sodden shadows would be laundry. One of the Renans must have complained about wet clothing that some Danon hung out to dry. He's expressing the frustration he feels at having to listen to such petty grievances all the time.
Yes, your inferences are correct. As a man in my position, I find it difficult to speak my mind. Looking back, my achievements in Menancia truly would have been impossible were it not for your assistance. I find I am quite inadequate on my own.
Dohalim, you're a hard worker. You should be proud of that. I'd be glad to lend an ear to your complaints any time.
Great courage is needed to travel the long road ahead. You, as ever, are my courage.
Dohalim? Yes. Let's continue to travel it together.
I don't think I need that one explained to me.
I still don't get it.
How unusual of you to eschew proper etiquette, Dohalim.
Having been temporarily relieved of my duties in Pelegion, I want to enjoy some respite from the chaos.
Your work there isn't all that bad, is it?
Well, while drowning in a sea of paperwork, I find that memories of our travels together constantly tempt my scattered mind, even though I'm well aware that it wasn't all gaiety and glee.
It's natural for the mind to wander when it's been occupied with work for too long. Besides, our travels weren't all hardships either.
What about you? By all appearances, you seem to feel truly at home here.
Do I? I suppose I like it there for the same reasons you do. I think I know what you're trying to coax out of me, but no, not now.
Not while duty calls, I suppose. Oh, how I look forward to retiring and leading a quiet life.
Don't expect to be able to retire that easily. You still have a lot left to do before then. But you can do it, Dohalim. You aren't alone, after all.
Nothing could be more invigorating to hear. To a bright future.
To a bright future. Something still on your mind?
Do you think you'll ever call me Doe again?
Ah, you're hopeless. Of course I will.
I hope Nazamil is getting enough to eat, now that she's not here with the rest of us.
Yeah, I hope she isn't letting herself go hungry.
Just the idea of her hungry makes me wish we could treat her to another good meal again.
Yeah, like when Nazamil was helping us look for the mausoleum back in the forest near Niez. Gathering ingredients and cooking together. That was our first meal with her. The look on her face when she took the first bite. I don't think I'll ever forget it. She said the food was really good.
You know, if you think about it, for Nazamil, just being able to share a meal with other people was like a special occasion.
I need to let her know that there's tons of even better food out there.
Then why don't we all take some time to come up with different dishes we'd like to treat Nazamil to?
Well, there's gotta be meat. Nothing fills the stomach and fuels the body like meat.
I'm vetoing any of Law's sloppy cooking. It needs to be something proper.
Proper? My cooking is totally proper. Plus, meat helps you put on muscles, you know.
So? Nazamil hardly needs muscles now, does she? Anyway, I think we should make her something sweet.
Shion, perhaps this is a chance to introduce her to some rare delicacies?
It could be. I think it's important for us to explore what kinds of different foods she might like. Let's see what ingredients we have.
Wait, you're not planning to have all of these ready at once, are you? I think we should focus on just one dish for the moment. It should be something that we're sure she's gonna like. And I think I have the perfect idea. It should be the same thing we had together that first time. It's hard to beat good memories.
Of course. You're right, Alphen. I can't believe I didn't think of it. We should definitely make her that.
Right? Not bad.
That might not be enough, though. We should also have something like...
Meat! There's gotta be meat!
Don't forget something sweet.
Or the delicacies.
I'm starting to feel sorry for Nazamil's stomach. It's only been a year, but in every city we visited, reconstruction efforts seem to be progressing well. It's encouraging to see everything coming together like this.
That's true. But even then, some nations are progressing better than others. And each still has its own set of problems.
Reconciliation between Renans and Danans has only just begun. There are still many issues to work through.
Yeah, but still, it's pretty exciting to see what shape the world's gonna take, you know?
Hope is always a good thing to have. We might even start to see beautiful cityscapes like Vicint's in every region.
Who knows? Maybe as Danon and Renan cultures start to overlap, we'll see all kinds of new books and tools.
People will probably develop new dishes and recipes to try too. Oh, and innovative new fashion designs.
Yeah. From now on, everyone in this world will have their own hopes and dreams to pursue.
And for our part, we'll have to do our best to assist in any way we can to help those dreams become reality.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. So what about you, Dohalim? What sort of things do you want to see in the new world?
If I had to choose, perhaps a new kind of instrument. I've always wondered if it would be possible to create an instrument that functions as wind, string, and percussion all in one. If so, it would surely open a door to new musical possibilities.
Maybe that's a door best left closed.
All right, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Let's see who can make the best juice.
Well, you're certainly fired up. Are you suggesting a competition?
That's right. I had to MC the pancake contest, so this time, I'm gonna be a contestant.
All right, challenge accept.
No way, Alphen. You should sit this one out. No one wants to drink spicy juice.
Defeated before even setting foot on the battlefield.
Well, if it's anything like the last one, I'll join in this time instead of judging. I want to test my skills against the reigning pancake champ.
Wait, you mean me? Oh no, what am I gonna do? There's no way I can go up against Kisara. But I guess my title as the champion is on the line. And if I can get Hootle to lend me a talent again... Hootle, wait! Where are you going?
Maybe you should take a pass on this one. For Hootle's sake.
I'm in as well. What about you, Shion? Will you participate?
Not this time. If Kisara's competing in the contest, someone will need to sit out and judge all the entries.
Then it's decided. The winner is the juice that Shion likes best. Let's do it.
That's right. I can drink as much juice as you can dish out. Bring it on.
Something tells me she just wants free juice.
Once we've gathered all of our ingredients, let's head to Faria Ranch. We should find all the tools we need there.
The competition will be fierce. I'll have my work cut out for me if I want to make up for my pancake defeat.
Hootle! Please, come back! Don't leave me! Hootle! Who can mix up the tastiest juice blend? Let's find out. Hootle and I will be your hosts. First, a special thanks to Bogdell for providing our lovely venue here at Faria Ranch. Now then, let's kick things off.
So Rinwell and Hootle are emceeing this time.
Shion, could you please say a few words as our judge?
Of course. I can tell everyone has put their best effort into today's competition, and I'm eager to sample the fruits of that labor.
Sounds like Shion's taste buds are ready. So, without further ado, let's bring out our first contestant. It's...
That's right. I'm the first challenger.
Star player Kisara is first up to bat. Has this competition been won before it's even started?
My recipe may seem unsophisticated at first, but I think you'll find it to be perfect for this competition. Here is my entry.
Whoa! Just check out that presentation. Let's hope it tastes as good as it looks.
I put a lot of care into the quality and flavor, not just the appearance. I used the finest milk, as well as fresh strawberries picked this morning. Overall, my strawberry milk blend achieves an elegant yet subtle sweetness that I think will pair perfectly with pancakes.
Just the sort of recipe I would expect from you, Kisara. I knew I could count on you to put your best foot forward when it comes to cuisine.
Well, I also kept in mind that the recipe we created not only had to be worthy of bearing Dohalim's name, but also had to work as a sellable product. With that in mind, I tried to replicate his elegance and refinement in both the presentation and flavor of my entry.
Even her description is flawless. She's thought of everything.
That's an approach to the assignment only you would think of, Kisara. Let's give it a taste. It certainly is delicious. And I'm sure it will pair well with pancakes, too.
Is this it? Has Kisara already claimed the title?
However, it feels a little too conventional. I don't imagine it would make any notable waves if it was released as a new product.
What?
It's a solid entry, but I think the juice we release has to surprise the drinker. It should give them something unexpected. For example, you could try dumping more sugar in it to sweeten it up.
It's true. I may have avoided taking risks in the pursuit of a smooth, easily accessible drink. But if the juice is too sweet, it won't go well with the pancakes, and adding that much sugar would definitely make the juice unhealthy.
I think you did a great job, Kisara.
Alphen, I don't need your consolation. I created this recipe, and I will destroy it with my own hands.
Wow, she is not taking this well.
Has fan favorite Kisara been knocked out of the competition? What will happen next?
You want a juice that will surprise the drinker, you say? If so, then it would appear victory is mine.
A bold statement. It sounds like you're confident in your entry, Dohalim.
Extremely. All my work has been for this. Behold, my masterpiece!
It's awfully viscous.
You mustn't judge on looks alone. I ask that you refrain from commenting until you've tasted it.
Fair enough. Well, here goes. It's amazing! The taste is rough yet elegant, utterly overtaking your mouth!
What? No way! It tastes good? What's in it anyway?
High-grade horse meat, sprinkled with pepper and grilled, then flavored with tomato and juiced. Not only will a glass of this juice sate your hunger, but if served with pancakes, it will be the main course.
So the pancakes would be like a dessert then? I agree. This certainly meets the requirements of the assignment. Not only does this juice deliver an actual surprise, but it's also truly satisfying to imbibe.
Indeed. Actually, I would say this recipe's only flaw is it tastes even better before it's juiced.
Disqualified!
Eliminated yet again.
In a way, it's impressive you can make something like this every time.
A disqualification is a disqualification. I will keep this recipe to myself, so that it never again sees the light of day.
Oh man, I'm last! Kisara's tried and true entry is out, and Dohalim's crazy concoction has been disqualified. Now I'm next on the chopping block. Oh, what am I gonna do?
La! Come on, hurry up! You're the last contestant, so get out here already!
Coming, Rinwell! Damn it! Think, Law, think! Oh, use your head. Wait, my head? That's it! If this juice is gonna reflect the real me, I gotta go all in! Time to go big or go home! Yeah! Sorry for the wait. Here is my entry!
It doesn't look particularly unique. Still, let's give it a taste. This texture is amazing. It has the perfect amount of pulp. It feels less like juice and more like I'm drinking an actual fruit. The aftertaste is cool and refreshing, yet it's substantial enough for a single glass to leave you feeling satisfied. This juice will not only fill the stomach, but also go perfectly with pancakes. It's exactly what I was hoping for.
Wait, so then?
Yes, Law is the winner.
Really? You're serious? Hell yeah!
But, Law, how did you make this? Did you grate an apple into a cloth and wring the juice out through it?
Nah, that's way too much hassle. The only tools I needed were these finely tuned muscles. Listen up. First, I split the fruit open with a headbutt. Then, I squeezed the juice out with my bare hands. And voila! Its appearance is understated, but it was made through a crazy process. Suits Dohalim perfectly, don't you think?
So, is that what you think of me?
Putting aside the juicing method, I guess this means we have a recipe we can turn in.
Hold on. No one could reproduce that juicing process except Law. Does that mean we have to turn him in too?
Huh? Come on, no need to go that far.
No, she's right. Sorry, Law, but this is goodbye. Take your recipe and head back to Vicente alone.
Law, thank you. For everything. I promise I'll never forget you.
Take care of yourself, Law. Just know I'll be wishing the best for you in your new life.
You're joking, right? Hey, wait! Don't make me go! Wow, Kisara. I'm amazed you know how to weave grass like that. You said you learned it from Miguel, right? It sounds like he really did teach you everything.
Yes, just like that girl's mother. He used to weave grass into bracelets and necklaces for me back when we were kids.
Kisara?
Sorry, it's just... It occurred to me that something he taught me to make me smile is now bringing a smile to someone else's face. I know that I could never be as great as my brother.
You were the one who decided to fix the bracelet and find the girl.
Dohalim,
Miguel's dream is still alive thanks to you.
you're right. Thanks to meeting all of you, I can say my dreams are no longer just dreams.
Exactly. I couldn't even hope to count all the times I've been saved by your shield.
Yeah, Kisara. I can even do some housework now because you taught me.
You've always been a really good listener when I've got something on my mind.
And that one time I stained my clothes during a meal, I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there to help.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. It sounds like I've been helping all of you more than I realized. The ideals imparted to us can still be made a reality, but only by those who are alive now, in the present. I chose that path. There's still a long way to go, but for some reason, I feel radiant right now.
Oh? How very curious. Walking next to you, I feel the same way. I must say, I'm impressed with the old man's keen insight.
I know, right? I've always known him as a dependable person, but Doc still surprises me every time I see him. He's always looking at the big picture and how his actions can help others. I think it's really admirable.
I agree. But, you know, those same things apply to you, Alphen. You should be proud of yourself as well.
Thanks, Shion.
If Doc ever does end up meeting the librarian, though, he might be in for a bit of a surprise.
That's for sure. She certainly is somewhat unique.
Who knows? They might end up getting along.
They do seem to share a similar passion for knowledge. Perhaps they could spend some meaningful time with one another.
Anyway, I'm glad the Sovereign and Maiden outfits are back in our hands.
Me too. Now we can wear them whenever we want.
Yeah, you should wear them every day to make all the trouble we went through worthwhile.
The whole point of owning clothes you like is having the freedom to wear what you want when you want to. It's no fun if you feel obligated to wear something.
That's right. You shouldn't need a reason to dress up. You should just dress for yourself, because it's something you want to do.
I'm surprised. It's rare for us to have the same opinions on clothing. Maybe you're finally starting to understand fashion.
Well, I did have a good teacher.
My, you two have gotten close.
Are you thinking about your friend, Faria?
I've ended up putting her through another ordeal. Avakir as well. They've been made to suffer just for knowing me. And it's likely this will not be the last time either.
It's not your fault. Your position means Danans and Renans alike are going to look at you with their own individual prejudices. One side expecting the best, while the other assumes the worst. Much like what Alphen has experienced.
I understand. No. Understanding is not enough. I should have expected something like this to happen. Whether it was to a friend of mine, or someone else, it was my responsibility. And it's my fault for not being prepared. I'm going to instruct them to reinforce security. Of course, we'll have to do so carefully so as not to incite the old guard. Did you think I would blame myself more?
No. You're no longer your old self.
I don't plan on going back. Besides, the situation wasn't all bad either. Avakir had a colleague who cared about him and was willing to step forward. The situation is changing, slowly but surely. If things continue this way, it may someday lead to that utopia you spoke of. One where all people are treated equal. Though, I do not know how old I'll be by the time I see such a world.
No matter the age, you won't be seeing it alone.
That's true.
Good job, Rinwell. Sounds like those two were able to make up thanks to you.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to clear up their misunderstanding with each other. I hope they can become good friends.
I hope so too. But what if something goes wrong and they get in another fight?
Shion?
I'm sorry. It's just... I can't stop thinking about it. What's to keep the same thing from happening all over again?
Shion, don't worry. Working through their differences is how kids learn to understand each other and become closer friends.
She's right. Kids may fight a lot, but they usually make up quickly.
I see. I guess you would know better. I never had those kinds of experiences.
But you and I were like that too, weren't we, Shion? We clashed with each other sometimes, but we also talked a lot. And in the end, that's how the two of us became friends, right? So if we could do it, I'm sure those kids will be just fine.
Rinwell. Yeah, you're right. If you believe in them, then I'm sure they'll be okay too.
Oh, but you know, the only reason I feel that way now is because I had the chance to become friends with you, Shion. It was only because of you that I was able to help those kids make up with each other. So, thank you, Shion. I'm really glad we became friends.
Yeah, same here, Rinwell. I'm so grateful I get to have a friend like you.
He pretended not to notice, but I'm pretty sure Nath knew I was worried about something.
That makes sense. He seems to know you really well.
Yeah, though maybe he knows me too well. It can get kind of annoying that I can't hide anything from him. Not much I can do about that, though. After all, he's known me since I was a little kid.
I haven't known you as long as he has, but it sure seems easy to understand what you're thinking.
Oh yeah? Then what am I thinking about right now?
That you're hungry?
Who do you think I am, Shion? No! Actually, I was thinking about how I need to take good care of this ring. For both my dad and my mom.
Definitely. If you ended up losing it for real, we'd have a seriously hard time finding it. Not only that, but I'm sure Zephyr would be furious.
Oh, he was.
Huh?
Nothing. You don't have to worry, though. I won't let go of it again.
Yeah, I can tell.
Those donuts you made were really good, Shion. I can understand why they made all those kids so happy.
Thanks. Hey, Alphen. I was wondering, what if, and this is a pretty big if, what would you think if I said I wanted to open my own donut shop?
Huh? Really?
No, it's not that it's something I really want to do. It's just that I remembered something Rinwell said to me. She said, if you're going to sell donuts, I'm sure Alphen would be right there with you.
She said that? Well, yeah, I guess she was right. Whatever you decide to do in life, I'll be there to support you and help in any way I can.
Alphen, are you saying...
But you know, if we ever really open a store, I want to make and sell my own donuts too.
Wait, Alphen?
Oh, that's it. What if we made spicy donuts? Wouldn't those be the trendiest donuts ever?
Are you crazy? Yuck! It's my store, so I'm only going to sell donuts that I think are good.
In that case, I'll just have to make some spicy donuts that you think are good.
You know, Alphen, you can be really stubborn when you want to be.
I'm not the only one. So, what do you think? Are you gonna hire me at your donut shop?
Well, I guess I can take your application under consideration.
Just look at it all. There's so many flowers. This is amazing.
Rinwell, wait for me! I can't keep up with you. My feet keep getting caught in the grass.
Hey, you two! Watch your step. There's a cliff over that way. Be careful you don't go too close to the edge.
Alphen, should we join in on whatever it is they're doing?
No, they look like they're having fun. Let's leave them be for now.
I agree. It would be tactless to interrupt their merrymaking.
I guess. By the way, isn't this where Shion tried to steal the ship and head to Lenegis all by herself? Remember, Alphen? She still had her thorns, and yet you held her to you oh so tight?
Don't say it like that. I was only trying to stop her from doing something rash.
And with that brave endeavor, you moved Shion's heart.
That was so much fun. Hey, you guys. What are you talking about?
We were just reminiscing. This place brings back memories, doesn't it?
It really does. I'd love it if we could stay here again and talk all through the night just like before.
I would too. The landscape here has changed in such a beautiful way.
Yeah. Once we've all finished up what we need to do, and things have settled down, let's make sure we come back here together.
When that time comes, I'll cook everyone's favorite foods. Prepare to be impressed.
Hell yeah! And then, after dinner, we can share stories from our travels while we sit by the fireside.
Oh, I love that idea. I'll have to start keeping a diary until then.
Ah, good-humored traveler's tales against the backdrop of this picturesque panorama. Sounds like a delightful night.
Hey, Shion. Let's keep making good memories together for as long as we can. Okay?
Yes, of course. I can't wait.
Then let's get started right away. Come on, we can make a wreath. You too, Kisara, get over here.
Wait up!
Don't rush! It's dangerous!
Look at her having a good time.
Ever playful. Rinwell hasn't changed a bit.
Why don't you join them, Law? It sure sounds like you want to.
Excuse me? I'll have you know that I'm climbing the ladder to adulthood over here. Don't give me that!
You know, though not everything has gone as I had once dreamed, the world has certainly changed for the better.
Yeah. It's good to know that in the end, our efforts weren't in vain. I'm really glad I got to travel with Shion and all of you.
Hey, you guys! Come help us pick these flowers.
Sheesh. Just how big of a wreath are you making anyway? Well, if you insist. Come on, Lord Man, you help too.
Very well.
Thanks, everyone.
Wow, this place hasn't changed a bit. Is it just me, or does the mood here seem a bit tense?
What? You say the king and queen are arguing?
Maybe we could do something about it. It'd feel wrong to just ignore them.
You mean help them make up? Okay, but how?
Well, I don't know. We could try figuring out the reason why they're fighting. It would be a start, at least.
Right. If only we had some sort of clue as to what could have caused it.
What's that right there? It looks like some sort of nutshell? Is this what they've been fighting over?
You ate this nut? Without telling me?
No, I would never.
There they go again.
Ah, deduction through reenactment. Clever.
Since this is here, someone ate it. And you and I are the only ones around. But I certainly didn't eat it. Ergo,
Neither did I. Do you mean to accuse me of nut hoggery? If I am blessed with a nut, I share it with you. No nut is sweeter than one savored with my dear.
don't you think I feel the same?
How long is this gonna go on for?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
If neither of them ate the nut, isn't it possible that another owl left it behind?
Should that be the case, this spat would be an unfounded one.
Hold up. The real question is, was that reenactment even right in the first place?
Well, the mood does seem a bit lighter now. Don't you think?
Case closed then.
Is it, though?
Let's just leave it at that.
I'm hungry! So hungry! I could eat a whole horse by myself!
I bet. Speaking of dinner, I think it's Shion's turn to cook tonight, right?
I believe so. Let's ask if she can get started sooner rather than later. If for no other reason than to settle law down.
What? Something wrong?
Hush. They sound quite excited about something.
From what I've heard, a lot of people have been copying Kagari and Notio's wedding ceremony from last year.
Yeah, it's a traditional Renin ceremony, but ever since they got married, it's gotten super popular, even among Danon couples.
The whole thing was just so lovely. It was my first time attending a wedding, but I can definitely see the appeal.
Lovely, yeah. Oh, and all the food they served was delicious too.
I know, there was so much food, but everything they served was carefully chosen. And you could taste the care put into every bite. And the flowers. The arrangement they chose for Kagari's bouquet was a perfect fit for her. Also, during the banquet after the ceremony, Kagari and Notio were telling me the whole story about how they found their new house. They said it was okay if it was simple and bare bones. They just wanted a warm place where they could spend their days together. I want that too. A joyous ceremony for a loving couple starting a new life together. I guess dreams really can come true. It was a perfect day.
Sounds like someone may have been taking notes.
No, it's not like that. Anyway, Kisara, how about you?
Me? Well, I certainly don't think marriage is the most important thing in life. That said, I'll admit having a wedding ceremony does seem nice.
Really? It sounds like you both feel the same way then. Oh, speaking of which, Kisara, do you remember what you said at Kagari and Notio's ceremony? About the bouquet toss?
You mean how if you can't catch a bouquet, you'll end up always being single and alone? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. As it turns out, that isn't true at all.
What? It isn't?
Apparently not. I actually just found out recently myself. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it without checking first.
This is quite an interesting conversation, in more ways than one.
Seriously? Who cares about weddings and all that kind of stuff? Let's go already! I'm starving!
If we must. Personally, I feel it's rather boorish of you to spoil their fun.
Hey! You guys talking about weddings?
Oh, you three are finally back. Yeah, it turns out weddings are all the rage these days.
I have heard the same. There is no denying that Notio and Kagari's ceremony was a delightful occasion, filled with warmth and understanding.
That's for sure. Even after the ceremony was over, Shion just kept going on and on about how nice it had been.
I don't know about that.
Really? I guess I never realized.
Law must be misremembering, that's all. Anyway, I've got a dinner to make.
Seems like it's a bit of a touchy subject for her. It would probably be best not to press her on it.
What is it, Alphen? Is something the matter?
No, sorry, I'm just realizing that there's so much I don't know. I had no idea that weddings were popular, that Shion was so interested in them. Any of it.
Don't let it get to you. Paying attention to such things is simply not in your nature.
Damn, Dohalim. Are you trying to cheer the poor guy up or rub salt in the wound?
No, it's fine, Law. Dohalim is right. Still, it's something I need to work on. Otherwise, it could get me into real trouble in the future. Maybe someday I'll, find someone I want to marry. If my bride is someone who cares deeply about the wedding ceremony, then that means it should be important to me, too. I don't want to use my own ignorance as an excuse to make my bride-to-be do all the planning. That would be a huge burden for one person to carry, right?
That may be the case, but I'm still not sure what you're getting at.
I just think that it's important to know about weddings. Not only weddings, but marriage in general. I need to learn more about them so I can be prepared. I want to do some research and fill in the gaps in my knowledge. That way I'll have the confidence to help out and make informed decisions when the time comes. But I've never done something like this before. I have no idea where to even begin. So...
You're saying you want us to help you out? You got it! To be honest, I don't really know that much about the subject myself, though.
Thanks, Law.
Oh, speaking of which, you should definitely make sure to ask Shion for help. There's probably nothing about nuptials that she doesn't know.
No. Sorry, but I, want to keep this a secret from her. Because, I'm doing this for my own benefit. So I want to do as much of it as possible on my own, without being a burden on anyone else. I realize I'm asking for some assistance from all of you guys, but I don't want to bother Shion with this. If I did, then I'd end up relying on her too much. I really want to avoid that. So, I want to do this research, but I also want to keep Shion from finding out about it. Can you help me?
Whoa, that was a whole lot of words. But I think I get what you're trying to say. You could have just said you don't want to cause trouble by not knowing anything.
You don't have to say every thought that pops into your head. You aren't a little kid, are you?
Ah! Oh. Sorry.
My. Those growing pains can sure pack a wallop.
At any rate, I think I speak for all of us when I say we are sympathetic to your cause. We shall assist in your research and keep it to ourselves. You should go about this endeavor in your own way. If you do not wish to involve Shion at this time, then so be it. But be mindful that should she find out, you'll likely need to explain all of this to her.
The pursuit of knowledge is a noble one. I'm rooting for you, Alphen.
Thanks, all of you. I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity to gather as much info as I can.